old-timey carnival games, missing orphans, and shocking revelations based on paperwork. These are all things we experience today when we go back to Hope Valley in the days of the Canadian West of a coal mining town in 1912 for another episode of When Calls the Heart. This Canadian-American television show airs on Hallmark in the US, and today we're diving into Season 6, Episode 9. This episode is called Two of Hearts, and our main character Elizabeth is struggling with some choices she has to make in the wake of her son Jack's christening. It's wild. This is probably the episode of Season 6 where they paid the most for extras because we get a lot of background actors milling about and handling balloons. It's great. I got some really great feedback when I dived into Episode 7 just a few weeks ago from the Hearties, who chimed in to let me know where I was right and where I was wrong about the show. So I'm excited to get back into it and make some more horrible assumptions and mistakes. It's another clip breakdown and it's old-timey, baby. Let's go back in time. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another clip breakdown of When Calls the Heart. I love doing clip breakdowns of pretty much anything that's on Hallmark Network, and I find When Calls the Heart particularly interesting because of how clean everything looks, despite taking place before Sherwin-Williams paint was ever invented. And I'm really excited to dive in with Two of Hearts here because we get a lot of emotional turmoil. But first, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns, especially with this show. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button right over here and turn on all of the notifications you can, because I don't want you to miss the 2 videos a week that I put out. If you miss them, I will be sad, and you will be responsible for my sadness. You don't want that. When Calls the Heart. So this episode, episode 9, begins with the arrival of Elizabeth's seemingly longtime friend. Her name is Julie, and in terms of characters on this show, she seems to be the only one right now who remembers that she's supposed to be using olden time language.
You were meant to arrive yesterday. I was beginning to worry.
I was waylaid, but I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Oh, you were waylaid, were you? And then did you have to jettison the ford of the river? What kind of old-timey hubbaloo is that, Nurse Jackie? No, what's her name? Julie. She's a redhead. Julie's all like, oh my god, my family is so excited for your baby. Here's a christening gown. As I mentioned, there's a christening aspect to this whole thing. I was christened as a baby. Certain religions do that. That's all I know. Now let's go back out into the town square where this woman, whose name I can't remember, but she's like the nicest lady in town, and she talks like a cartoon. She is making sure everybody's events are set up for the festival. Also, this festival is on the same day as Elizabeth is opening her, finally, library that she's been building for like 1,000 years. It's crazy that it took them so long to fill this one house with books. Anyway, if you remember, Bouchard is the tavern guy who seems kind of like he has a sketchy past and is one of Elizabeth's suitors. And for some reason, he gets a whole entire tent dedicated to apple cider.
See, your cider tent is coming along.
And you're still planning on entertaining the crowds with cards and magic tricks?
Looking forward to it.
Welcome to my mansion of cider, and while you're waiting, cards, look. If I had been alive in 1912, I would just swim out into the ocean and float there. The kind of hard-nosed judge with a soft heart inside, he's in charge of judging the pie-eating contest, but I don't understand his reservations.
I heard Wilma say she was going to enter her apricot rhubarb pie.
Oh. So I can definitely count on you as a judge? Judge?
Sure, how bad can it be?
There's the spirit.
It's not gonna be bad at all. You're just tasting some pie. What is your problem? Do you know what pie is? Now, Elizabeth's other suitor is Nathan, and he's a member of the Royal Mounted Police. He's a Mountie, he's got the hat and everything, but in this scene, he's wearing just a regular jacket you would get at LL Bean in the 1900s.
I made you this.
You made that?
Again, Jack's baby facial expressions are constantly the highlight of this show. He's like, oh yeah, cool, nice lettering, dude. Elizabeth is really touched that he hand-carved this plaque with a Ralph Waldo Emerson quote saying, what is it? Always do what you are afraid to do. I'm afraid to stick my hands inside of a bee's nest, but whatever you say. Almost like magic, Bouchard comes in shortly after and basically insults the plaque. And I don't know what happened in episode 8. Someone's gotta fill me in. Hearties, please let me know, as you so thoughtfully did before. Why did Bouchard like run into a burning building at one point? I'm getting that story happening. Explain that.
I have a son, and your past ties could have taken me from him.
How dare you? I'm holding a baby and you're gonna have past ties? Now, elsewhere in town, I don't know if you remember Clara and Jesse, but they're like the young couple and we're like, oh, you kids, you keep me young. He's got all this news and they've got something brewing as a C storyline throughout this entire episode. Right now, Clara's learning how to do hairstyling because there's a hairstyling booth at this festival, and I don't know why we know so much about that. We get a lot of details about the logistics of all of the who's working what booth at the festival. You would think we are in charge because we really have a high level of detail.
Clara has graciously offered to help me with the hair booth at the festival.
Fancy, huh?
You look beautiful.
You look, stares at forehead, beautiful. The next scene is Jack's christening, and for some reason I feel like this was performed by an actual priest. Maybe I'm wrong, but this guy doesn't strike me as an actor.
I baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. They're like, no, Father, don't worry about any sort of accurate period costume. Just wear whatever suit you had on at your daughter's wedding. After the anointment, there is a christening party, which consists of everybody standing against the wall and speaking in unusually hushed tones.
Thank you so much. Just over there.
Excuse me, some more presents. Nathan comes in and he's really great with Jack. I've never seen that baby have so much emotion. He really lights up. Maybe Nathan is related to Jack in real life because the baby seems really comfortable here, and usually it's like...
Hey, like that?
Yeah, just fade to black on him going... That's a good punctuation for that story. What could be more exciting than a boring christening? How about the ribbon cutting at a library? I know, we've got some high stakes events in season 6, episode 9. Aside from the fact that this library is visibly tiny, I don't understand why it took so long for them to get this together, as I said. And despite its small size, it seems to have a limitless selection of books.
Do you have a cowboy section?
Sure do. It's right over there.
You're gonna love it.
You have a cowboy section in here? A whole section for cowboy books? Barnes & Noble doesn't have a cowboy section, so I don't understand how your Little Red Schoolhouse gig up in here has all that book nonsense. I'm just calling it like I see them. You don't have the books you say you do, Elizabeth. Outside, these two guys, the judge and then Lee, who is married to the cartoon voice woman, he always looks like he is straight out of 2014 for me. He never looks old-timey. I think it's the hair. And the fact that he clearly drinks protein shakes, you know? They're having a conversation that I think was added to explain the difference in Canada between a guardian and a godparent. Because I didn't know that either until I Googled it when I watched the show for the first time. So just enjoy this little bit of exposition.
To little Jack's guardian.
To little Jack's godfather.
One's just as important as the other.
Absolutely. He's gonna come to you for guidance.
And you'll be there to take care of him if Elizabeth needs your help?
That's right.
Okay. You guys, I haven't even introduced you to Spencer yet. My apologies. Here's Spencer. His parents are dead. Yeah, so Spencer lost his parents recently. He's super cute and he's very emotional. He makes me cry this whole episode. Also, there's some woman who's following him around the town right now. Her and her sister own an orphanage somewhere else, and she's just getting ready to take him there. And he's like not ready because he's still like traumatized, but they're like, therapy doesn't exist yet, buddy. Just go. Here he is learning to play a carnival game.
You almost got it.
You wanna try it? Oh.
Hey, you can bring this with you tomorrow when we go to Brookfield, and you can show all the other kids what you won.
That kid was just about to start having some fun, and then she goes, here you go, you can bring this with you at the orphanage tomorrow because your parents are dead and you're all alone. But that's probably not enough carnival game action for you. I know I like my TV shows to really lay on that sort of action. Here, Bouchard has another chance to impress Elizabeth, and it works. She's very impressed by carnival games. Although, no judgment, ring toss is really hard.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
I have a magician's wrist.
Did you mean to bounce it off that other bottle?
Okay, nobody plays skee ball in front of Elizabeth because I don't think she can even handle it. Wah, wah. For some reason, the judge is cleaning out his filing cabinet in the middle of this nationwide festivity, and he discovers a letter, and it says this. Oh, could you not read that letter because it was typewritten in tiny font and held far away from the camera? Great, don't even worry about it. We'll get to it later. Just know that that was a revelation. Meanwhile, the lady from the orphanage is just trying to get Spencer to admit that life can be fun even after your parents are dead. And she gives us this amazing line, which also tells us her feelings about certain animals.
I love goats.
I love goats. Ooh, okay. Next, we're back at that hairstyling booth that we've heard so much about, and apparently things aren't going so well.
So, what do you think?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so again with this show, this happened in the last episode with the dresses. I can't tell when something is supposed to look normal or something's supposed to look weird on this show. Because when that woman turns around, I just see the same overly curled hair that every other actress has on. But, I mean, they're acting like it doesn't look good, so I guess that's the story. It is whatever you tell me. Spencer asks for some cotton candy, and then shockingly, this is a ruse. He's just trying to escape.
May we please have some cotton candy?
Certainly can. Oh, what a cute little bear. Did you guys win him?
Peace! This is the second episode of When Calls the Heart that I've ever watched, and also the second episode where a child going missing is a major plot point. So I guess that always gets the heart racing, you know. Oh, the whole town's worried. But first, Nathan is going to try to win his niece Allie, who is not his daughter. I'm sorry I didn't know the nature of their relationship. Thank you for making me aware of it. So he's gonna try to win Allie a fishing pole, because she loves all sorts of outdoorsy activity, and all he has to do is ring the bell.
It's okay, Uncle Nathan.
Nice try.
You know what? I'm just getting warmed up.
Oh, that was closer.
And then it becomes a classic kind of who's stronger rivalry when Bouchard comes over and he's like, hey, let me take a swing at that.
Do it with momentum. Combination of mind and muscle. Careful. It's about creating torque.
But no cigar.
I certainly saw the torque.
Okay, Bouchard, I'm sorry, but that is literally the most embarrassing thing you could have done for yourself. He was like, I know that I can use science to ring the bell. Ding! Come on, you gotta stop being the weaseliest man in the show if you want me to root for you. Even Henry, the guy with gray hair, whose negligence allowed people to die, comes off better in this episode. Meanwhile, the super sweet guy who's the doctor in the town, who I love because he's hot, he is really just like unassuming, and he walks over and he does this.
Thank you.
Sure thing.
Person! Spencer's missing. I can't find him anywhere.
As you see, this is where Orphan Lady comes in and is like, hold up, I lost Spencer. So sorry, I was talking to some extra about her stuffed bear.
Okay, we need to spread out and look for him. I'll need some help on the roads and the woods. I'll help.
There's lots of places to hide in the saloon. I'll go check it out.
So the whole town goes into crisis mode and starts looking for Spencer. Pretty much every character gets a scene looking inside the interior of a location. I'm in the church. I'm in the library. Just calling out into the street. I don't know why everyone's so worried, since Hope Valley obviously doesn't have any crime or murderers or sexual predators. He's just emotionally hiding somewhere. It's fine. And that's exactly what we see next.
Hey, Spencer, what you doing?
I miss my mommy and daddy.
Yeah. I know you do, buddy.
That kid makes me so sad. I legitimately cried when I watched this for the first time because he's so sad. And again, he's not gonna get the mental health care he probably needs at this time in American history. Is that fair to say? Like, the orphanage he's going to does sound nice, but in reality, it's probably like slave labor, right? I don't know. For all of the emotional and heartfelt drama in this show, they actually managed to sneak in some really funny moments. I wish they were more frequent, but here's one of those really good ones.
And now the festivities can continue.
Yes, the founders would be proud.
The founders will be proud.
I have no idea. It just came out.
That is 100% me. If somebody says something that I don't know how to respond to, I'm just like, that's the gravy boat, you bought it, huh? So the judge, with his new document that he found, confronts Henry. And basically what we learn here is that Henry, before the mine collapse 6 years ago, had written a letter being like, yo boss, I'm afraid about this mine collapsing. And the letter that the judge found is the response being like, we don't care.
I had my concerns. I mentioned it to the company, and this was their response. The company told me to shut up, and I did.
Henry!
You know what? You go ahead and you tell everybody in this town how I screwed up.
Bill, is all that true?
I don't know know, Elizabeth, I just heard it for the first time, same as you. God, go back to your donut tower. Side note, those donuts look delicious, don't they? So now that Spencer is safely back home and not drowning in a creek, the orphanage lady has a really nice moment relating to him because her parents have also been buried.
I know exactly what it's like, but that is why my sister and I have a place in Brookfield that is full of boys and girls just like you and me. And we take care of each other. Spencer, will you give our home a shot? I really want you to come live with us.
Okay. I like that.
The trick to taking care of children is the illusion of choice. That's what I'm learning here. So the cartoon lady who is trying to have a baby but really can't with Lee, she is such a good, like, festival planner that she's actually snatching balloons out of the air to save the day.
My balloon!
Whoa. Whoa!
That was amazing!
Lost balloon, not today. Beast mode, snatched it. This woman is on her game. Someone has to look up what year balloons were invented. I know that they were around in 1912, but I can't believe that they had neon yellow ones like that, right? They had to be like, I don't know how they made rubber back then. When were balloons invented? 1824, that's cool. Okay, so balloons were definitely alive at the time of this show, but when did they become colorful? I don't have time to read this Wikipedia page in front of you. I would love to, but we have to move on with the festival. Because tonight is the big dance. Because Elizabeth was nosy enough to understand Henry's situation a little more, she gets to kind of forgive him on behalf of the whole town and on behalf of all of the widows who were created on the night he was responsible for the collapse. I'm not as forgiving as Elizabeth, it sounds like.
When I first came to this town 6 years ago, everyone blamed you for the mining accident.
And so they should.
But no one has ever known that you tried to do the right thing. It's time to move on from that terrible tragedy.
I don't know how.
I understand that.
And they might never know the answer until the invention of dialectical behavioral therapy. But still, it seems like the whole town kind of already does forgive him, like they're pretty nice to him. So, I don't know. Again, let me know if I'm wrong. I don't watch the show that often, so I could be wrong. But now, at the dance, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Jesse is nervous, but you know why. Cause he is asking Jesse's girl if she will marry him in the past. An old-timey wedding will happen later on in the season, but now we have this scene.
I will never stop trying to deserve your love. Will you be my wife?
Yes, I love a ring gasp, especially on television. The more raspy and weepy you can make it, the better. Box opens. It should sound like you're both cold and panicked. Take my breath away when you open my ring box. Everybody's happy, guys. They're getting married. La-di-da. And then to spice things up even more, they get modern with it.
The next song will be...
Oh, no.
Ladies' Choice. So, ladies, pick your dance partner.
Oh, ladies' choice. We can't vote or own property, but tonight we're in charge, honey. Now, this is a really great cinematic device to kind of visually frame how Elizabeth has to choose between Bouchard, who combs his hair like this and owns a saloon and secretly hands money to people sometimes, or Nathan, who is good with kids, already takes care of a kid, has a cool job with a uniform where he's nice and he can carve letters into wood. To me, the choice is obvious, but instead she chooses to dance with Bouchard, leaving Nathan out in that cold Canadian West. Ouch! Guess you should have bought a saloon instead of serving the public, bro. What do you guys think of all of these developments in season 6, episode 9 of When Calls the Heart? I think a lot of stuff happened in episode 8 that I should have read up on, but I don't know, maybe I'm okay. Let me know what I missed in the comments below, and give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see clip breakdowns of even more TV shows like this. Let me know what those might be, but most importantly, don't forget to subscribe right here. It's a button that looks just like this over here, and that way you'll never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week. That was me being an actress on When Calls the Heart. Old-timey. So don't forget to click subscribe. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for snatching balloons out of the air with me today. I will see you next time.